riding buddies. This week we're going to continue our look at Harry Massons' shed. We've already been through the shed in 2 separate videos. If you didn't see them, make sure you go back through my library and check them out. Also too, we've had a look at Harry Massons' little Cagiva WMX 125 from 1984. Didn't see that? Make sure you check it out as well. And this week we're going to have a look at his 1984 Honda CR500 RE. Of course, this was the only model air-cooled CR500 and the start of the legendary CR500. But this CR500 is an absolutely beautiful bike. Ding did have a good ride on it. He did take it a bit easy with it. He didn't want to break it, and the track he was on was more suited to a 65 or an 85 than a 500. But he really did enjoy it. The engine was absolutely magnificent. Suspension worked great. It wasn't set up for ding, but it did work great. But what we're going to do is have a look at what Harry's bike is. This is the video you're watching at the moment. But also too, we'll have a look at what the CR500s were. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do so. Drop us a like as well. And kick back and we'll have a look at Harry Massons' CR500RE. In 1983, Honda had what was arguably the best open-class motocross bike on the market. They'd put a 5-speed gearbox into their CR480 and it set the world on fire. In 1984, they released their first CR500. They kept the 5-speed gearbox of the 480. They introduced a disc front brake where the 480 had a drum brake, and they punched it out to 491cc. This was a whole new machine. It was a completely different engine to what the 83 480 was. Everything else was different as well. Frame, all the suspension, brakes, everything was upgraded for the CR500 in 1984. The world was expecting big things from this bike, but when it came out, actually wasn't probably quite as good as the CR480. Starting with the engine, it did have detonation problems. Rejetting and some combustion chamber modifications fixed the engine problem. With the suspension, the forks were a bit on the soft side, but had a lot of potential. The base was really good. The rear suspension, everything was good except for the shock itself. The shock itself was a very ordinary shock. As you've probably noticed, Harry's bike has got an Öhlins shock in it. This will fix the suspension problems. Brakes, absolutely amazing. First to the disc brake front brakes. Rear brake, a great drum rear brake. The overall handling of the bike at high speed was very skitterish. In a tight track, like on a supercross track or a tight motocross track, nothing could turn like the CR500. The finish to detail was typical Honda. The best quality Japanese levers. Beautiful welds. Detachable subframe. Transmission was typical Honda. Smooth and very predictable. The clutch on the 500 standard was a very nice clutch for a big bore bike. But as you've probably noticed, on Harry's bike, he has got a hydraulic clutch conversion. Overall, the 84 CR500 straight out of the crate was not really what the world was expecting. But everything was there to make it into the best motocross bike out on the track. As you can see, Harry's bike is absolutely a beautifully restored bike. Everything seems to be sorted with it. Ding found that it was running very well. There was no detonation issues, no problems with the suspension except it was a little bit soft for him. Overall, Harry's bike is an absolutely beautiful example of what the CR500 should have been when it came out of the crate.
What? It's got serious horsepower, mate, hasn't it?
But
She'll come on real strong. Yeah, suspension works alright. It's an Öhlins shock, should do.
that ding ding like that.
So you like the Mercura clutch adjustment on it, do you?
Ah,
Yeah, it makes it way good, doesn't it?
but
Nice and light.
dun 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 dun.
So you're saying, Ding, that the weight and horsepower combination is quite good for a little 125 track.
Bah.
Yeah, right, eh?
Bah,
Handles all right. Handles okay, eh?
Bah.
Good stuff.
That's just been a small look at Harry Massons CR500RE. Make sure you go back, check out his shed videos as well and his other bikes. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Keep an eye out for one more issue of Harry Massons Shed to come, where we check out one more of his bikes. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.